Welcome to issue 61 of the official PlayStation 2 demo disc, brought to you by the PlayStation Underground. In this issue, we flew to Japan to meet the development team behind Wild Arms 3. Then we caught up with pro skateboarder Tony Huck to check out his new traveling BMX skateboard and motocross exhibition, the Boom Boom Huck Jam. After that, it was off to E3 to try some of the games so you can play with the new network adapter for the PlayStation 2.
It's pretty sweet.
Plus there's game demos, downloads, and more. So dive on in. What happens when Final Fantasy-style characters are thrust into the Disney universe? You get a new action RPG game called Kingdom Hearts. If you saw our story last month, you learned how these two heavyweights, Disney and Square, came together to seamlessly blend the two worlds. This month, we're going to dive deeper into the gameplay and explore this immersive new action RPG.
In the beginning of the game, Sora starts his journey from his home, while at the same time Donald and Goofy begin their journey. The three meet in Travis Town and travel to different Disney worlds, including Aladdin, The Little Mermaid, and The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Since each of the game's worlds are so different, we figured that everyone involved in the game had a favorite.
My favorite is the Nightmare Before Christmas world. It has a more unique look than the others. The rest of the game is made using animation cells, but the Nightmare world is made from actual photographs. We achieved an interesting look with combinations of the 3D game world and real photos. I'm really pleased with the results.
I think the Peter Pan and Aladdin worlds are very interesting. Especially the mothership fight in the Peter Pan world.
So, Kyrie's home is out there somewhere, right?
Could be.
My favorite is Destiny Island, because when I designed it, I wanted to get away from work and go to a tropical island. This island looks very relaxing. At the same time, this world contains many keys that help you solve problems later in the game. It's a very important location.
To help him make his way through all of these amazing worlds, Sora carries a unique weapon.
One of the main items Sora will carry is the Keyblade. It is not only a weapon to defeat enemies, but it has the symbolic purpose of locking the door to each world.
The Keyblade's appearance and abilities change depending on what kind of chain is attached. These key chains alter Sora's attacking ability in different ways. For example, one of them will raise Sora's attacking ability, while at the same time drastically reducing his magic points.
For those of you who are Final Fantasy fanatics, you won't be disappointed. Even though Kingdom Hearts is not a traditional RPG, gamers will definitely recognize several elements from the famed RPG series.
Well, since the core staff of this game has worked on Final Fantasy games in the past, we thought it was about time we try something different. I like RPGs because they are the type of game that players get deeply involved in. Sometimes RPGs have a hard time including action elements into the game, so we incorporated lots of action into Kingdom Hearts to the point where some may call it an action game. Like Final Fantasy, this game also has experience points. The difference is that you can earn experience points during battles, whereas you earn them after you finish each battle in Final Fantasy. For example, if you dodge an enemy's attack, you earn a point. As your character's experience points go up, your character becomes stronger. Since action is heavily incorporated into this game, a skilled action game player may move up to different stages without having a substantial amount of experience points normally needed to move up. Some characters from the Final Fantasy series that will appear are Tidus, Wakka, Sophie, Yuffie, Cid, Mog, Squall, Cloud, and Aeris.
In all of Square's games, music has been a crucial element of the storytelling. Kingdom Hearts carries on that tradition.
I tried not to use any music that already exists. My concern was to compose music that flows nicely and matches the mood. I did use some original Disney music, but tried to blend it well so that listeners would not feel awkward when my original music is mixed in. Anyway, my main concern is the flow of the music. There are 76 tracks, which is more than usual. I usually use 50 to 60 tracks. We used the full 100-piece orchestra to record the theme song. I think a lot more people participated in this music process compared to our usual work.
As Sora travels through the worlds of Kingdom Hearts, he makes use of a ship that's not like anything you've seen before.
After finishing a world, the characters get a saving point where there are entrances and exits to each world, and the characters can cross the space between worlds in the Gummy Ship. The Gummy Ship is owned by King Mickey, and Chip and Dale are the engineers who lend the ship to Donald and Goofy to use on their quest. Sora joins them and is allowed to fly on the ship. The Gummy Ship is not only a vehicle, but also a way to obtain items. Users can customize the shape and type of the ship to whatever they choose.
By using the Gummy Ship, Sora and his crew members travel freely between different worlds. Because each Gummy block comes with different features such as an engine or a laser, the ship's capabilities change as you add or remove different blocks.
While we had the chance, we had to ask if the developers at Square had any hints to help us through Kingdom Hearts.
People just asked me questions about Aladdin yesterday, like, where should I go, or I can't open one of the doors, etc. There are always hints hidden somewhere in the game. I personally don't like including conversation that is totally irrelevant to the story or interrupts the flow of the game. Unlike many other RPGs which let you obtain information from the same character over and over, you need to concentrate on listening to each and every word any character says in this game. Otherwise, you may miss very important hints and get yourself in deep trouble. Yesterday, I told the person who was looking for hints in Aladdin to remember what other characters were saying. Then he seemed to understand.
In a game this deep, you'll have to keep your eyes and ears open. But if you do, you'll experience a game that's like nothing that's come before it, bringing together two amazing companies to tell one amazing story. It's Kingdom Hearts, and it's available now only for the PlayStation 2. The first two games of the Wild Arms series merged the fantasy and western genres into a unique role-playing game. For the third installment, the developers at Mediavision create an entire western frontier world full of bandits and hired guns, as well as some more magical creatures, behind which looms a monumental mystery that only you can solve.
The story takes place on a planet called Filgaia, which has been devastated for years. A long time ago, a civilization with advanced technology inhabited this planet, but now it's desolate and barren, with no trees or water.
The inhabitants of Filgaia, including the main character, do not know that in the past there used to be water and trees, but that one event caused the planet to die. The story begins as the main characters research the history of their dead planet and discover how beautiful it was previously.
As the main character tries to find out what caused the devastation of the planet, she encounters the other stars of the game.
In the prologue, the main character, Virginia, takes her father's gun to fight against demons that attack her village. After realizing how hard it is to fight against these enemies, she decides to leave her village and become an adventurer. Although the game has only one main hero, the other three characters are almost as important as the main character, since they all have their own dramas. We wanted players to understand this and sympathize with each of them.
Wild Arms 3 also brings a never-before-seen graphic style to the PlayStation 2.
When production on Wild Arms 3 began, the cell shading style was already applied to many games, so we wanted to use a different style.
We apply tone shading, which is a general term, and draw the characters' outlines to make them look like animation. There are also diagonal lines on the shading part, which change according to the direction of the light, which we use to add texture and create a warm feeling to the graphics, like illustration. Therefore, we call it stroke shading. The PlayStation 2 made it easier for us to achieve this.
Not only is the look of the game different, but Wild Arms 3 also features a new combat system.
The past two games use a typical RPG battle system, in which you make moves, but the opponent does not move at all. It's simple and easy. In Wild Arms 3, the movement is different. Characters and enemies can take action simultaneously. Consequently, in battles, everyone is mixed up, and players can enjoy making complex movements.
The other half of your combat resources, the magic system, is based on some very Eastern concepts.
This may be a Japanese way of thinking, but there is a belief system that gods live in all the elements: fire, water, wind, and soil. In Wild Arms 3, you can incarnate them, but you have to use a different stone slate depending on the god you want to summon and use in battle. Each of the four main characters have different abilities. For example, Gallo's attack level is high because he has a high magic ability. Usually in other games, if you use magic, you lose points. But in Wild Arms, you can use magic as many times as you want during the battle. They are not only for attack, but also to enhance protection ability, lower enemies' attack ability, and so forth. We want users to battle with creative magic combinations.
As high noon approaches and the guns are drawn, you may not know who is friend or foe, but one thing's for certain, Wild Arms 3 brings the adrenaline rush of the Wild West to a classic immersive RPG world, and when the dust settles, only the strong will be left standing. This year at E3, the highlight of the PlayStation booth was the competition arena. Those people who were lucky enough to be at the show got to check out two amazing online-enabled games for the PlayStation 2. The first game was Madden Football 2003, which will make its exclusive online console debut for the PlayStation 2. Players at the show could strap on their shoulder pads and play Madden Online against Electronic Arts game testers in Florida.
I had a great time, and I have played other games, and this one is definitely on top.
It's just like playing. You got to have the right body English.
Basically, I went for the run at first, but it wasn't working, so I went through the air game.
Heavy on the defense, so that's the key to winning usually.
The SCEA guys are pretty good.
you won?
They held their own, but I took them out in the end.
Good job, man. You won yourself a brand new PlayStation, Hank.
The other game at the competition arena was SOCOM U.S. Navy SEALs. Players faced off in a 4-on-4 terrorist versus SEALs fight, but 2 members of each team were in Foster City, California, 500 miles away from E3.
It's a tight-ass game. Excellent, very realistic.
You don't know where anybody is, and all of a sudden they pop out of nowhere, and your heart jumps, and you're, oh, shoot.
Took out one guy, we ended up winning the round, so.
We won. Yeah, I got a hat right here.
Online play is going to totally change how you view your PlayStation 2. We asked the lucky players from E3 what they thought of the experience.
Yeah, I would love to play online.
I mean, it's the thing to have.
Playing on a computer, it's more predictable. This, you don't know what's going to happen because you're playing against a live person.
You don't know what to expect. It's fun. Keeps it fresh. We're going to bring all gamers together and pretty much prove you're the best in the world.
With PCs, online gaming has always had its share of glitches. We wondered if the players in the competition arena noticed any problems.
No, it was pretty smooth. I liked it. I didn't get any hiccups.
Really smooth, graphics were nice, and there was no lag at all. It was pretty sweet.
Now that the ability to play online is coming to the PlayStation 2, you'll need to figure out who you want to play against.
I got a lot of friends back on the East Coast, so it'd be nice to be able to still play video games against them.
When they can't make it over the house because it's raining, we'll play online.
I usually play against my buddies for bragging rights.
Online gaming is the future, and without a network adapter, you're not getting online.
Online gaming for the PlayStation 2 looks like it's going to be a big hit. Be sure to keep an eye out for the network adapter and all the games that you'll be able to play online starting this summer. If riding your skateboard down 14-foot ramps and busting huge tricks wasn't dangerous enough, try throwing in a BMX rider competing for the same space and a 500-pound motorcycle whizzing over your head, and you've got Tony Hawk's Boom Boom Huck Jam.
The Boom Boom Huck Jam is basically a stunt show that includes music, motocross, skateboarding, BMX. I just felt like the crowds that we've been getting for exhibitions at skate parks and things that are more hardcore events has become overwhelming, and the only way we can really accommodate the audience for what we do is to do it in an arena and build our own ramps. And I drew all this up on a napkin one day, and here we are about a year later.
Where we are is San Bernardino, California, where Tony and his crew have set up a state-of-the-art ramp to practice for the big event taking place in Las Vegas.
We decided to rehearse in San Bernardino because we could rent an airplane hangar. It was really hard finding a space to fit all these ramps in, and we couldn't do it at Mandalay Bay because they've got other events going on until we get there. They just got the A-list of all these sports, from skateboarding, Andy McDonald and Bob Burnquist, Bucky Lassick, Lincoln Ueda, Shaun White, motocross, Kerry Hart, Clifford Adamte, and Mike Sinkmar, bike, Kevin Robinson, John Parker, Dave Mira, Matt Hoffman, and decided to bring them all here and rehearse for a week. And you know, we're skaters. We're not used to getting up at 10 a.m. and going to skate. So everyone's been really good, showing up in the morning, you know, getting right to work. We bang out some lines, and so it's been a lot of cooperation, I think, because everyone really believes in the vision of what this is.
The lineup is amazing. From the bands to the riders, all are incredible. But the most unique star of the show has got to be the custom-designed ramp that incorporates the sports of motocross, BMX, and skateboarding, as well as the musical stage.
Yeah, the ramp's amazing. I've ridden a lot of half-pipes over the last 20 years, but I can honestly say I've never ridden a half-pipe quite this sweet. It's perfect, everything about it. You know, the trannies are big and fat, and the vert's perfect. It's huge, wide, like, yeah, you can't ask for much more, you know.
Usually, if you go to a demo or something, there's bikes and skateboards on the ramp, and then there's motocross like off over to the side on the dirt jumps. And this time we decided to bring it all together. So we're going to see what we can come up with where we're utilizing all three at the same time. The ramps ramps are 14 feet high. There's two 32-foot wide ramps. There's an 8-foot gap in between, and then the long jump is 30 feet from takeoff to landing. And then the roll-in for the long jump is actually 30 feet high. So going down 30 feet and then jumping 30 feet. I think doing the roll-in is half the battle there. That thing it's a lot more intimidating when it's up than it was when we drew it.
Designing the best multi-use ramp ever was easy for skateboarding legend Tony Hawk, but making it portable was a little bit tricky.
I designed the layout of it, and then we hired a staging company to actually figure out the best way to make it portable, to make it interchangeable. And these ramps, when they go up in record time. And they're perfect, like all these guys come in here and just everyone's got a smile on their face when they start riding it because it's so solid. I think it's going to take a full day to put all this stuff up the first time. They are under the impression they can put up the entire half-pipe section in about 4 hours, which is record time. No one's ever done that in less than a day.
Tony Hawk's Boom Boom Huck Jam will be on a 24-city tour starting this fall. On April 27th, several thousand fans got to check out the preview show at the Mandalay Bay Arena in Las Vegas. Some parts of the show were tightly choreographed, while others were left freeform. And of course, there were lots of surprises.
We're working on a 7-minute section, and everything's tight, nothing spontaneous in that part. But then there's going to be parts where it's like just free-for-all, people take turns and try whatever they want to try. We're going to have like a best trick section of the event, and in that time frame, everyone just tries whatever they want to do. We never really know the tricks we're going to do until we're right there, but we're going to do a lot of stuff that involves all of us skating at once, doubles, triples, combining it with bikes and things like that, and we're all working that out right now. So you're going to see a lot of surprises, as in, suddenly there's two people on the ramp and they're getting really close and they're going over and under each other. And also doing it with motocross as well. Motocross will be jumping while we're going, and chaos.
Having multiple skaters on the ramp at one time kind of reminds us of playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 online.
I play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater as much as possible so we can try to, work out the kinks. And it's hard to find time to play other games just leisurely, especially I have 3 kids and I can only use that excuse so far that I'm working as I'm playing video games. I wouldn't want to compare it to playing video games. I think there's a lot of the same excitement, but crashing isn't an option. Because if one of us nails the other one, it just gets really dangerous. We all know exactly where we need to be, when we need to be there. There's always a risk of falling, but actually running into each other, we just don't even consider that.
The grand finale of the Huck Jam has Matt Hoffman, the first guy to do a 900 on a BMX bike, and Tony Hawk, the first guy to do a 900 on a skateboard, attempting the trick together. Even though Tony and Dave didn't quite land the 900 this time, they'll have plenty more chances this fall. So look out for Tony Hawk's Boom Boom Huck Jam coming to a city near you. It's sure to be a heart-stopping event.
My name is Steve Bradley. I'm about to show you some cool moves to do on Knockout Kings 2002. I'm going to show you how to get to Muhammad Ali anytime in your career. Alright, now when you start your career, it doesn't matter what difficulty level you pick. Now, what you do is you go into modes, start up your career. Now you can either create a boxer or select a boxer. I'll just create a boxer. Doesn't matter what the stats are. Now, when you get ready to go into a fight for the first fight of your career, press the X button as fast as you can. You should see Monolith 2002 appear in the name of the boxer. And as you can see, you fight Muhammad Ali. Now, this doesn't matter where you are in your career or whether you have a custom or selected character, just as long as you do this process at the initial startup of your system. If you mess up and actually go to a boxer in your career, you need to reset the system and do the process all over again. So if you have a custom character, this really helps build up your stats before you get to the champ. Or if you have a selected character, you can just have some fun. I guess the ultimate goal is to see if you're as good as me and you can beat him at the first fight of your career.
Hi, my name is Saul, and today I'm going to show you a cool move for the game Pac-Man World 2. I'm going to show you how to get unlimited lives in the level Butane Pain. Check it out. From the beginning of the level, follow the intended path until you reach the first blue Bedoing. Jump onto it and then get onto the red Bedoing. And from here, jump to the top of this tree. Make sure to hit that checkpoint. Now what you want to do is jump back to the red Bedoing. It's kind of like a blind jump here. And from here, jump back to the blue Bedoing. From here, what you want to do is drift off to the side and look for these jump pads down here. Bounce along the jump pads until you get to the hidden area. Hit the green button and collect all the lives in the area. Once you've collected all the lives, just jump off and Pac-Man will lose a life. This will take you back to the checkpoint you just got to. Once again, from where the checkpoint was, jump back to the red Bedoing and to the blue Bedoing and all the way back down to these jump pads. And as you can see, when you reach this secret point again, you can get all the free lives again. Repeat this process as many times as you want to and collect as many lives as you want. So that if at any time you get frustrated and you find that you don't have enough lives to complete a level, do the infinite live trick just like I showed you to get as many lives as you need.